You have to surf the wave until you be water. Ha-wah. Our secure breath gives us the vibration to be water. Yeah, man, sometimes water can make things pretty chaotic. It can wash your ass up. It can also wash up many hijacks and chaos, man. And at the end of that, man, we just got the mighty frequency. We just got the blood, the seed, the life, the spirit, the ruah, hawa. We are the sprouting seed with water. We are the sprouting seed with water, the continuance, the air, the sun. We are the noon, the son of noon. We are the Hawashua, the son of noon. Joshua. Like my man Hiram say, Isaiah 43, there is no other Savior. Isaiah 43, there is no other Savior. But you do have a sign. You do have a mark, a sign, a towel. You do have a sprouting seed, a continuance in air. Is this your Savior? No, this is your continuance. Joshua brought you to your promised land, and it was all right here in the Americas. And this water, I tell you, man, it lets you know that it's fair use and they caboose bone. This water, man, let's just go, man. Right quick, man. Much appreciation to Bruce Parker, man, for dropping this on us. He dropped some more drop that we're going to actually pull out in the Preston John series coming up soon. And, yeah, love to my sis, Dottie Boop Lee. She said Mesopotamia or Mesoamerica. He. And I thought about this a while ago. I was like, Mesopotamia, Mesoamerica. Mesopotamia is Mesoamerica. Mesoamerica is Mesopotamia. Love to Pop Gold, who just saw the end of the closeout, the part 12, the finale of the City of Gold series, man. The Chronicle of Akakor. Said beautiful and powerful conclusion. Aki, much aha, my bread. Yeah, I don't close series out very often, but when I do, I prefer a dos equis. All right, man, let's go. There are no real pyramids on the flat earth. Much appreciation to Event Skeptic. Y'all go subscribe, man. Get the drop. Matter of fact, let us subscribe. You know, I'm telling you to subscribe. I'm going to subscribe. Event Skeptic. Drop like this, man. Now you just fall back in it. I'm going to try not to even be here and just let you just dig on it. Although I might be yelling at you for real, because this is about to uncover some realness. Hopefully we can get this out in one take. It might be a part 2. But yeah, man, let's go. There are no real pyramids on the flat earth. So when we say Egypt is here, and when Thoth says that he left Atlantis, the sinking of Atlantis, he left Egypt here and went to the land of the hairy barbarians with the dweller in a ship, and then built the halls of Amenti and all these other sites, he's saying in the 18th dynasty. Because now you got the Tutmosis rolling up on you, born of Thoth, Thoth Moses. All the hijack is real. So let's go, man. Let's go. Because if Egypt is here, then you're talking about being in Hawiku. You're talking about being in Yudah. So all this Shemitic this and Shemitic language talk, I mean, Hebrew is an American language. Yeah, copper color race is found here by the European. You're getting back in your Paleo is a American language. You are the American. Columbus brought the Hebrew interpreter Louis Torres to talk to you, so-called Negro. You are the American, and this is your Ame'rican language. So you know there's no trees anymore, right? Because the trees been cut down. You get that? The mesas, the flat out mesas, flat mountains are trees. So now, Event Skeptic is saying there's no real pyramids on the flat earth. Let's just dig on it. And you tell me real or fake.
Skeptic here. March 9th, 2017.
Oh, you gotta dodge the hijack. You see Zeus pop up right away. So anyway, man, let's go.
Did you know there's no real pyramids on the flat earth? Only sandcastles fabricated by Freemasons. Behold, Matthew 7:24. Everyone who hears these words and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And anyone who hears these words and does not do them will be like the foolish man who built his house upon the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and it was a great fall. And truly, truly, how amazing it is to be alive and to see these prophecies fulfilled, and to be with the wise men who set their foundations upon the rock.
Alright, I don't know if you can see this. Let me make sure. Make sure you can see that down there. Alright, there we go. Alright, man. So we saying real or fake? Now you said no pyramids on flat earth, alright. I skimmed through this joint, so I don't know if he mentioned any pyramids in America. That'll be interesting. But from what I've seen and what you see if you see any sites in America. He's talking about being artificial, but he's pretty much going to blast a hole in all the what you think are concrete sites, and he's saying that these are artificial. They're like artificial rocks, man. It's like this is a Hollywood set. I don't want to, get ahead, myself. I want to go ahead and let you dig on it. He says, in fact, it is not the natural stone. This is an archaeologist digging on it. You'll see much more of this. Let's go. He said, but the geopolymer concrete. So he's saying this ain't even real stone, natural stone, but who would know the difference, right? Until this geopolymer concrete comes into the mix, an artificial situation. Let's go. And outside it was smeared with the layer of a more qualitative composition. But this layer was different from the inside layer. That is why appeared diversity of texture along the surface. And skin is peeling off. These are Hollywood sets over there, man. They're fronting like the shit when they're trying to make a set like it's the old world over there. They're trying to make believe that the old world is the Africa, Europe, Asia situation when the old world is here, which is why they call this India. India superior. Superior India. Let's see what is inside this skin. This is India. This is Egypt. Sand. So he cracked through the skin of this geopolymer and got sand, man. We can see sand is inside. This is not granite. This is geopolymer concrete. Until the 20th century, want to remind you, the city of Babylon was considered a biblical metaphor, but was calculated, opened, and excavated by German architect, teacher, archaeologist Robert Cole Denaway in 1899 and 1917. Years. Earlier participant of excavations of Troy. This begins to bore me. So he's saying this goes from being a biblical metaphor to now they're excavating. But what you're going to realize is when they say they're excavating, they're actually doing architecture. Excavating is code word for let's do some architecture and put some fraudulent old world site up to do this Hollywood set and make believe that the old world is there when the old world is right here. We'll get it. So his book. All right, let's get this part. So he said he left only, I can't see what's reading up there, but it says he left only a few obvious staged, phony, baloney photos about excavations or other literary cities. So he's calling these phony, baloney excavations. Okay. He preferred to keep in centuries his encyclopedic opinion about Hellas and Troy in the form of drawing. And he said a reason for that, the same annoying wild grass sticks out of every stone that were buried under the centuries-old layers in the newly excavated Messenian gate, and the fortress weeds and shrubs are old, several years old. It makes us doubt that they had just been unearthed. Use your perspective, real or fake. The Temple of Baal, real or fake? Temple of Diocletian. Alright, so then any sane person must see it was not under the sands 2,000 years, or a year, or even for a day. When look at this photo, it is perfectly clear that Palmyra, Babylon, Nineveh, unfinished construction that was abandoned shortly before the shooting, which neither 1,000 years or a year or even a single day was not covered with sand. He's saying this stuff was never underneath anything, they just constructed it. He's saying nothing was excavated there. The construction took place 10 to 20 years. Construction sites, not excavation sites. Now, you remember all this ISIS talk about them destroying all this stuff? Well, they're just knocking down Hollywood sites before you realize they're Hollywood sites, man. Let's go. Look at all this construction material. If we're talking about vandalism from a crowd of media, ghost, ISIS, let's remember how those idiotic actors were smashing sculptures of concrete cubes with molded plaster from the palace of the Assyrian king Sennacherib, 18th or 8th century BC, so-called, of the great British archaeologist Henry Layard, and statues with the real armature of the fortress Der Sargon II, Charouquin, of the French consul Paul Aimé Bota, and destroyed the sculptures made on Lego. We're going to see more about these Legos, man. Legos play. Legos play. Principal from Palace, Ashur Nazirapala II, Kali. Clinical idiots, they're called. ISIS troops continue to tear down the official Tory, literally and figuratively. Let's go. So they're smashing down Hollywood sites. Hollywood actors. Smashing Hollywood sites. Wake up, out the illusion. Real or fake? Let's play. So this is a real photo. He's supposed to be smashing down some real shit. Or is he smashing down a Hollywood site as in Hollywood actor? Let's go. Modern construction, not excavation, construction. You get this all the time, not that. What they're doing is mimicking, because sometimes you'll find a real site and you'll say, wow, how do they have tools like this to make that? Well, they use modern tools to make their shit. Now let's see if he talks about any American, sites. I haven't seen any American sites yet, but keep your feelers out. This cracks me up, man. He's just like, why? Are you fucking serious, man? Yeah, that's how you should be feeling, honestly. When you've been lied to, it shouldn't be like, whatever. Who cares? I mean, how many times you gonna who care this shit? How many times you're not gonna give a fuck? How many times you gonna just remain asleep and turn your senses off, turn your emotions off? This shit should piss you off just like this. This is a real emotion when you're dealing with reality. And you said, so all this time, I'm thinking Stonehenge and all this shit. Watch, man, watch. I mean, look here. I mean, you would do the same thing if you were them and you had this black budget, trillions of dollars gone missing. Well, what would you do? You would fake some shit. You would say, yeah, all right, well, since we don't have any dope architecture or any remnant that we had some real dope shit going on, let's just fake it. Let's let's put all our money into making this a gigantic Hollywood set. Yeah. He said 1.5 centuries ago, those ancient Roman builders have failed so hard. Amazing how people are still buying into this garbage. If you show this photo to someone without telling him that it is ancient hewn temple of Jupiter, of course they fake this shit. We're talking about Jesus, Jupiter, Jesus. He is Zeus, Zeus, Jupiter, Jesus. Jupiter, Zeus, Jesus, Isus, swine, Zeus, Jesus, 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 Hail Zeus, Hail Zeus, Jesus. There's no J. Jesus. Zeus. They snuck Zeus in while you were sleeping, fool. This is the ancient hewn temple of Jupiter because they really are worshiping Jupiter. Zeus. Zeus. Jesus. That's the wrong Joshua. Every normal person will say framework and solution with ugly fixtures. What a botcher. Skipped a layer and tried to fill the next one, scumbags. And historians are telling us about magnificent ancient Romans. What to say? I almost believe. No. He's putting humor in it, but damn. Just keep watching. Zeus. You see the artificial texturing. They are Hollywood with this shit. They're doing it like any other movie set. They're putting texturing. They want to make it look old when there's sand inside of this shit, but it's never been under sand. They said this stuff is mixed with casting, i.e. organics, blood, plasma. So this casting that they're using, this texture stuff we're talking about is a mixture of blood, plasma, tissue fluid, something called ichor, which is lymph, perverted freaks. Yeah, man. So they're just putting blood all over. Man, you dealing with hijack 101. We'll talk about it later, how they electricize this cadaveric materials, corpses, and organics, how they electricize these cadaveric materials, corpses, and organics that is mixed inside those buildings, and cult stuff, blood with atmospheric electricity, electro cables, and warm from fire, such as holy light in Jerusalem. We're talking to Jerusalem that they go pay their tickets to and go touch a wall and stuff. When Jerusalem is Peru, Jerusalem, and we already are in our promised land. To drive you mad and to mutate your DNA, you think this is play? Also, you would know what all symbols really mean, that they were stolen from Aryan science. Now, if you're surfing the wave, you know Aryan just means a pure blood, pure, honorable, royal. So you are the Aryan. You are in India. You're the Aryan in India. You're the pure. You're the whiteness. You're the righteousness. You're the seed. They hijacked it all. You are Aryan. You are pure. You are noble. So this was stolen from the regal Negro, royal regal Negro, knowledge of Rus. You thought this was play? All right, man. We'll be back, man. We'll be back in the pics. Love to Brother Jay in the UK. We're talking knowledge of Rus, R-U-S, Rus. And they are keeping you from using atmospheric electricity. Free energy. That is everywhere inside the electromagnetic field of this universe. But now let's return to our fake history and garbage fake buildings of it. Let go. This ain't no play. Wakey. Eggs and turkey bakey, man. But scientists still are scared to open the secret of sacral corpses. Maybe priests will be entrusted to open it. Maybe politicians, who knows? They said, look at this steel benchmark in the hewn ancient Roman architecture inside ancient Roman Temple of Jupiter. No comment. Steel. Bookmark of steel. You know, some people say, hey, man, some stuff was put to reinforce this and reinforce that. All right, man. I could surf that wave. I'm sure some stuff was put to help reinforce some of these things, maybe. Or this is the actual construction of it. And these are layers of proof of that, these things were constructed, not, excavated from millions of years under the sand. So you got to surf the wave. You got to do it case by case, but use your perspective. Don't just always come in the perspective. At least question it. Maybe some things are being reinforced, but At least question it. Let's go. Alright, let's finally look at the most painful place in all the false teachings. All the false teachings. Let's look at what they're calling the biblical projects. Well, we know they're reconstructing the biblical time there in so-called Jerusalem there. Esoteric, spiritual, and whatnot. And finally, we will kill those ugly monsters. They give us under the name Histora. I'm talking about grand and ancient Egypt. Uh-oh. Listen up. Use your perspective. No matter how sparse vegetation of the Egyptian desert, and almost all ancient Egypt was fabricated on the edge of the desert and in the desert. So they fabricated Egypt in the desert there. But it also points on the first photographs of the main open excavated monuments of ancient Egypt that no one was unearthed but stood from the construction time. So they started building fake archaeology. So when you look at reality simulations like our Hyborian war map, you know this is my favorite map. Because it's a simulation of reality, you know. And I say, well, damn, all these other maps must also be their own simulation. So we're going to have to surf the wave on which simulation we dig on. Because this is a simulation from Arizona. You know, of course they hide stuff in the games, but they're putting lots of drop, lots of recon in here. Everything is connected. We're talking Pangea. And you go right here to this so-called Africa and you look for yourself and you see nothing of resemblance of what will be in Africa. No Egypt, no Zimbabwe, no Punt. And then you slide over to South America. All this is South America. I know it doesn't look like it on your map. And you see right here, Zimbabwe, Southern Zimbabwe, Punt, Southern Punt, Kasani, Golden Hills. You see Darfur and Timbuktu. You see the Amazon. So we're right on top of Peru because we must be talking about the Black Kingdoms, Black Coast. All right. Then you got the Thoth spell barrier. So there must have been a spell barrier. There's a land of no return leading probably to more land. Now you have Stagia, which is what they're calling Egypt. And that's Kem, Khem, the land of Kem, Luxor, Neptune, Sukhmet, all these very important. We have the Kush and the Kushi Sea. And then on top of that, you have Shem and Pikland and Sumeria. So Mesopotamia, Mesoamerica, because I see Sumeria, which we have your northern clans and southern clans of Sumeria, and Pikland divided into 12 tribes. Come on, man. We're talking Kush with the capital of Meroe, just like there's a capital of Meroe. Research Kush. It's the capital city. Meroe, connected to Timbuktu, right over the Amazon, right over the Black Kingdoms. South America, what's your perspective? This is a reality simulation, and you got a whole nother researcher telling you what? Egypt ain't over there. They're doing fake shit. So the real shit must be covered up here. Wakey, wakey. The famous complex of Medinet Habu Ramses III, supposedly built in the 12th century. It was discovered and excavated by scientists of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, SCA, of Egypt in 1859. Excavations were completed in the 1920s by the Oriental Institute of Chicago University. On the photo is March 18, 1962, or 1862. Shame. So we're just talking about the Ramses III, talking about this complex. It said it was discovered and excavated, supposedly excavated in 1859. But he's saying excavations were completed in the 1920s by the Oriental Institute, Chicago University. But this photo is from 1862. But it was supposedly excavated in 1859. But this photo is from 1862. Let's go. I mean, a tree is under it, but they excavated it from underneath the ground. Here they even forgot to remove the beams which hold ancient, quote unquote, elements of, quote, ancient Egyptian architecture. So all these beams are still here. Oh yeah, they're just holding them up. You know, we just put them in. They even forgot to remove the beams of the fake Hollywood set. Perspective. There's a pile of beams and bars for refills and castings and bushes off which they cleaned the construction site. I hope these bushes were not burning and talking with the builders and other instruments for building, man. So when you look at certain, now, you know, these photographs are not easy to get. So, you know, love to event skeptic because, you know, you accumulated some hard to reach stuff, hard to dig on stuff, man. It was 1864. Sand was not delivered yet. Floors were not ready. Solution from columns and arches was not cleaned off. So this is 1864. Now just follow this. Use your perspective. All right, so 1864, the sand was not yet delivered. Working is not standing in one place. Sand was brought, but the banks for solution, scaffolding, and frameworks have not been removed yet. Let's go. Brought the sand. Viola, now it's good. Finish. Antiquity, quote unquote. The current appearance. Column Hall of Amenhotep III of Luxor, Medinet Habu. So you saw it from the before, now you see the after. They are constructing this stuff, not excavating. Yeah, man, we've all been fooled. The gig is up though, right? Because we have perspective. Real or fake? What do we see? Something strange. Railway on the Arab drawn, of course. Railway. How are they getting this here? How are they doing this? This railway, they are constructing something, not excavating. You don't excavate with a railway and just put a railroad in the middle of a precious antiquity. You only don't give a shit and put railways when you're in the fucking desert and you are building some stuff. Arabs are pushing the trolley with castings of some masterpieces in the direction of the temple. Very interesting. Above the sheep in the right lane is tripod for lifting facility, and clearly lacks of sheep with lion bodies. You don't even see these sheep with lion bodies. They are brought in later. This is a construction, not an excavation. This is not an excavation. This is the final construction. Will remove debris, brought sheep, lay out plates, and will be the heritage of humanity in UNESCO. Bang. Body bag for the illusion. Body bag, Daniel. A wonderful photo of the topic, the arrival of ram-headed Sphinx at the excavation of alley of ram-headed. The same tripod was used to lift them before installation at the entrance to the temple of Amun. Excavation or construction. These niggas is playing you, man. These niggas is playing you, man. Come on. They are playing you, man. I think it's a game. This is a game. This shit is a game to these people, man. It is a game. This is Hollywood Squares, man. And here is our familiar friend from the entrance of the palace, the ancient Egyptian railroad. Look at this railroad. Oh, man, we just put it in later so that we can, move. Man, you don't put a railroad through an ancient site. Come on. Oh, man. You know about the trans-Arab or the sub-Saharan Arab slave trade, whatever you want to call it. You know they was enslaving Hebrews, right? Look at him. Melanated man. Look at him. Melanated. We just got to the Estevanico, the Moor. This has helped you go to sleep, so-called Negro found here in America. Construction or excavation. Now look closely at this ancient Egyptians, the Middle Nile tomb, Tahora. What do they do with the two rails, crowbar, and the lever of the beams? What do they do with the two rails, crowbar, and the lever of the beams? Yes, are carefully hoisting into place on supporting walls the ancient Egyptians, quote-unquote, masterpiece, quote-unquote, priceless concrete slab floors on the temple of Pharaoh Taharqa. What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, we're just making sure it's all good for y'all. Don't trip. We know it's not our people, but it's all good. With permission of the Pharaoh, we're just keeping it steady. Don't mind us. Or are they getting paid to construct shit? Taharqa. But this pharaoh was just now dug from the sand, or have been brought to the place of discovery in the trolley Of course no one dug. It was brought here. Even the sand did not manage to get in the grooves of the molded form that was mixed with trash inside. Over 2,200 years have passed in their Egyptian story, by the way. Man, you have to use your perspective. You have to use your senses again and say, am I spinning or not? What's in front of me? What do I see? Is it real or fake? Are these images of the earth real or fake? What can I put together concrete? Because the Most High surely has given his image the ability to feel and know. Surely we have the wisdom to know real or fake, right? And when we ask questions and you put down your brothers or you put down your sisters because they're asking questions, you say, of course I'm spinning on a ball. Of course. Have you seen any image ever in your entire life? A true photo of the earth? Nope. But of course I'm spinning on a ball. Of course. Shit. Or else I'll fall off. Not if you had a whole lot of land that has not been reported. A whole lot of land and you're not spinning. A whole lot of land that keeps going and going past ice rings and ice rings and ice rings. Land, ice, and water. But this pharaoh was just dug up from sand, huh? Or have been brought to the palace of discovery in the trolley. Of course no one dug. It was brought here. Even the sand did not manage to get in the grooves of the molded form. Oh, it was just dug up from sand, but there's no sand in the grooves. That was mixed with trash inside. Man, let's go. Let's go. The ruins of Pylon, again, Karnak. Palm trees do not grow under the sand, man. But you just dug it up from underneath the ground, but there's a palm tree underneath it. Come on, man. This is what you have to say. From which pylon was dug half a century ago. They are the same age as age of the building, man. Come on, man. The typical Egyptian unfinished construction, never been under the sand. Never been under the sand. Never been under the sand. Ramses II, alleged 13th century BC. Photo is 1875. Again, these damn bushes. Come on. Another city from under the sand, Hermontis, 15th century, that never was under the sand. And now look at Abu Simbel, a unique ancient Egyptian statue. Come on, man. This is a real photo of them Legoing this shit. They are Legoing this shit. That's why you don't see your face on it, so-called Negro. They're Legoing their history. Ancient Egyptian hewn stone from Egyptian monolithic rocks from the 13th century BC, allegedly. And open, described, i.e. erected and fabricated in 1813. Interesting that it was dismantled like Legos and moved higher. It was dismantled like Legos. I'm just gonna, just look at the photo. You see this separation here? These are Lego blocks, man. These are giant Legos. These people are playing with Legos in front of you, and you go get your passport to hop on a plane. I told y'all I'll be yelling at y'all. I knew I wouldn't be able to sit back and watch this shit. Because it's not about being right. It's like, fuck, man. We all been lied to, man. And we can ask questions. We have the right to be scientific, to look for the repeatable and observable. Observational science, man. We can observe and use our senses. Observation. They tell you not to trust your senses. Don't trust your eyes, your ears. Don't trust all this fake ass clouds and artificial shit. If you ask questions, you're crazy. No, B.O.B. Stop rapping, B.O.B. Just because he's asking questions. Oh, Kyrie Irving, you're crazy because you're asking questions. Now, this is just the stuff that you hear about. But you are the one that's asking questions, and you're looking at this, and you're like, does this look like Legos? Do I see separation at the knees? They're just separating Legos. You once thought when you watched Prince of Egypt that this stuff was just, oh man, one large stone carving. Legos, man. Legos. Legos, man. Let's go. Lego. Let go. They playing with Legos, man. Legos. Legos, man. Look at this photo. Look carefully. This is a deconstruction of separate pieces. Legos, man. It is not cut section of the edge, not even close. Scission of it is impossible. They are deconstructing this hewn statue like Lego blocks. Sorry, man. Let me get this. Legos, man. They are deconstructing this hewn statue, quote unquote, like Lego blocks. Frauds, man. Fraudulent, man. Fraudulent, man. They are doing construction, not excavation. Legos, man. Construction, not excavation. Construction, not excavation. Damn. Legos, man. Legos. Is this how you treat antiquity? 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 I mean, how much are they paying these people to construct? They're doing construction. Legos, man. This is how you should feel. Damn. Yeah, they love it, man. They're playing with Legos, man. Damn, building fake shit is what they do. And this should be you. Damn. Legos. Legos, man. Let's go. From fake hewn Abu Simbel, let's go to the Sphinx. Let's go to the Sphinx. Allegedly the oldest statue of humanity, witness of grand world flood. It was a flood witness, huh? And guardian of the pyramids. Now look at me, man. I'm having, I'm trying not to go crazy, man. But look, man, we're going to get some more drop, where I'm not saying that the Sphinx don't exist. These niggas ain't creative. They got it from somewhere. I'm not even saying Jesus don't exist. Damn, drop. What? Nah, of course they got the foundational legend from somewhere. See, they don't just hate someone for no reason. They hate the fuck out of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? And certain, rabbis and in the Talmud, he's burning and shit. Like, they hate the fuck out of Jesus. So he must be coming from some foundational legend of someone they hate. And the only person that really lines up is somebody else named Joshua that sliced and diced all the Canaanites and all these tribes to get you back on your promised land. And that is your Hawashua. So yeah, there's a real Egypt and a real Sphinx and a real this, I believe. And it's right here, and we're about to get that. So allegedly the oldest statue of humanity, the Sphinx, witness of grand world flood and guardian of the pyramids, carved out of a solid rock, right? That's what they say. Like those statues, they say they are solid rock carvings, but they're really Legos, man. They go. In fact, the last one of the fake structures of so-called ancient Egypt at Giza was finished not so long ago. This is recent hijack in the reborn or Renaissance era of photography. Stories from crypt about solid rock, quote unquote, of course. Bullshit. Bullshit. Piles of defect blocks, Legos, all types of rejected materials from the old Giza were folded here with tiles and transportable units. 4 of such a pile of garbage formed a body of ancient, quote unquote, Sphinx. The head was casted at the end. This was a new adding because these are Legos, man. More primitive monumental building you can't imagine. Bullshit. Real or fake? Real or fake? Let's play. This is play. In the early photo shoots are clearly visible 4 separate layers. The early ones, you got to go to the early pictures, man. Get that recon. And between the 3rd and 4th was even a pass through. So there was some type of pass through opening. Let's go. Legos. Well, it's clear from what materials is made, this quote-unquote solid rock and ordinary defective garbage, construction waste. They finished building the Sphinx after main body dried up. Oh, man. Look at all this construction on the side of it. These are old pictures. These aren't no, oh, man, we're going to come today and help this thing stand up and put some reinforcement in there. These are the old pictures, man. This is the construction, not the excavation. Construction, not excavation. Construction, not excavation. Construction, Legos. railroad, construction, like a choo-choo train. And this wonderful photo, as they say, from 1925, man. They just discovered Paleo-Hebrew in the early 1900s, right? Around that same time, they started constructing. It's a lie. Main still half of the 19th century. We find not only the rails, trolley, container from mortar and loose materials, but also recognizable bars with barbed wire. Wow. So the whole area, stripes and belts of outdoor layer of blocks are falling inside. It is evidence to anyone nearby and seen from a distance in a sidelight. The reason is that there are no millions of blocks weighing millions of tons. And there is an ordinary natural sand and so-called quote-unquote Egyptian. And almost every pyramid on the planet are just shameless, fraudulent hoaxes. That's why I said pay attention for some Mesoamerican, hoaxes, but I haven't seen any examples of them, which means that if they are, it's not very prevalent, like he's pointing out in Egypt, in Asia, and everything else, and Stonehenge in Europe. Let's go. Think about it. If they don't have shit for real over there, man, then you are. You're talking Hijack 101 in real time. Now I'll show you a series of photos with ugly, shameless pieces of fraud under the name ancient pyramids. Without comments, you understand principle. If you are a builder or have ever built something, you will easily understand where the lie is hidden. All right? If you ever build anything, you're going to see where the lie is hidden. Let's go. You spend your money, you buy a ticket, you take a picture in front of the Sphinx or in front of this shit just to realize this is a Hollywood set. A Hollywood set. Let's go. I know. Drop gone crazy, right? Right? Excavation or construction. Excavation or construction. Or construction. Excavation or construction. I mean, what would you do with trillions of dollars gone missing, trillions of dollars unaccounted for? You might construct some shit. And what if it didn't weigh all those tons and tons like they report it does, but it's just construction? Like two completely different pieces of rock. Let's go. So you see the real deal that's inside of it and what's being textured on top to make it look ancient, like they excavated it. Or is it construction? Hollywood. You see the skin is peeling off, the texture is peeling off. Iconoclasm. Any questions? Excavation or construction? Hollywood. Or construction. Man. Or construction. Behold, now you will see the most beautiful and superior thing that humanity has seen before, has never seen before. You can scream if you feel that you can't restrain delight. Legos, man. In fact, it is not the natural stone. That's what we got from the top. It is geopolymer concrete, and outside it was smeared with a layer of more qualitative composition. But this layer was different from the inside layer. That is why it appeared diverse or diversity, or there appeared diversity of texture along the surface. Hollywood. And the skin is peeling off of this Hollywood set. Let's see what's inside this fake shit. Sand. Oh, they dug it up from underneath the ground. But it's composed of sand. Geopolymer. We can see sand is inside of this geopolymer concrete. Fake concrete. Fake concrete. Fake concrete. Man, I love to event skeptic. I'm going to get this part, and it's definitely going to be a part 2. I'm going to do a double drop. It's going to come right away. So let's go, man. We got some of this before by Lee Bracker. Proof the Grand Canyon monuments are ancient pyramids. Alright. Dig on. My bro Hiram kicked minis of drop about this Grand Canyon and G.E. Kincaid. Much relevant drop. Love to Hiram. Let's go. Man, get that Father's Day drop, man, from Uno. Y'all worshiping celestial, man. We on a whole nother path, a whole nother wave that goes above the barrier to the greater light. This is the proof that right here in the Americas, you as the copper color race found here in the Americas, it is relevant to you. It is relevant to you, American, according to the 1828. Ame'rican. You are the copper color race found here by the European. Now apply to descendants of the invaders born here. They take your titles, but you copper color race tribes were found here, and they're faking it there because they found you here in the old world. Copper color races, tribes, copper color. Just type it in for yourself, and you're only going to get the truth. The color of copper. Copper color. Race. You want to get this right? Do you want to get it? Do you want to get it right? You know what a penny looks like, fool? You know the people that look like the penny with all the tints. Lighter brown, darker brown. You know what the Redskins, the Redskin logo look like? You know what the Redskins, the copper color look like? You know what copper color look like, Lauryn Hill? Not the hijack that is doing what? Descendants? Descendants? American, according to the 1828 definition, originally applied to the Aboriginals, originals, or copper color races. The dark brown people, the brown copper conductors. We know that there are assimilations of your reality that have all of that Egypt stuff right here. Kemish, or Kushisi. Kush, K-U-S-H. This is Kush, Timbuktu, Egypt, Luxor, Kim. Under Shem, here's Punt, here's Zimbabwe. Here's Iranistan, or Persia is connected right on the mainland of this America. And the south is really north. So this is really North America, and this is really South America. And what's in so-called Africa? Nothing but desert. And what do? They took all these people from China and Japan and Asia that they invaded, and they dropped them off here. And those Morocco Moors, they held it down here. And this became a prison, because these people didn't have boats or planes. Now they're on top of each other, don't know each other, speaking different languages from different parts of Asia. This became a trap, a prison. But what was it really? And what was it before the hijack? Before the Hollywood? Before your copper color races found here fell asleep? Before the so-called Negro was put to sleep? Before the lands was even separated? You were here. Oh, you have the old earth, but they have their hijacked turfs, their desert. And I would give it up if they had real shit. But if their real shit turns out to be hijacked, then it lets you know further that the real shit was found here. I said the real shit was found here. Love to leave Bracker. Let us know. Where was the real shit really found? Let go, let go, let go. These ain't Legos, man. What you about to see ain't Legos. But let go.
It all had to do with another explorer named Kincaid who had been traveling down the Grand
That's G.E. Kincaid. Get that drop from Higher Mark. Let's go.
Canyon. And what he claimed he discovered was these caverns inside the Grand Canyon. Inside these caverns there were Egyptian artifacts, there were Hindu, Buddhist artifacts from India.
Because you're in India.
They were saying that, there were mummies in there. They were saying this was going to totally change the history of America and the Southwest.
I was very young when I visited the Grand Canyon for my very first time on a family vacation, and it was an extraordinary experience for me. I loved it. There I was looking at what they call the monuments of the Grand Canyon, and at the time, nobody really paid attention to the names of the features of the Grand Canyon. I'm 51 years old now, and it wasn't until I started investigating what I felt was needed to be investigated in the Grand Canyon concerning the Egyptian artifact find down in the underground dwellings, citadels, and the Asian artifacts. They had hieroglyphics, and they had things that were taken by the Smithsonian Institute in the year 1907 and 1909.
Whoa, 1907, 1909, and then you got this 20-something constructions going on over there, man. So they were taken by the Smithsonian. They take shit from here, put it in museums over there, and say they came from there, and they are American artifacts with your American language. This is Egypt. Your migrations happen here out of Egypt. You migrated here out of Egypt, these certain areas of hijack that they put their pyramids and their cut down trees. Hijacking your energy with the what? Hijacking your energy with the who? Right here in America. Remember, this is Arizona, I guess. We'll be around here. So, Egypt, you digging that up in Illinois and all that, all the way down here. I mean, did it move a couple times? Maybe it moved after the earth was separated in the days of Peleg. And right here, they're hijacking with the Thoth Amon spell barrier. So Thoth had a spell barrier here. This is the land of no return here. This is underneath Zimbabwe and Persia, Iranistan, according to this reality simulation. Right? Like all maps are reality simulation. This one is just admitting that they're simulating reality, but when they admit it, at least I can take that drop and say, at least I know that you're truly putting your image, your information together to put the right image, or do your best to put a simulation of reality together, and I can take that above the illusion and illusory maps. Egypt.
1909 is when the Phoenix Gazette came out with their article chronicling G.E. Kincaid, who was sent from the Smithsonian Institute to do an archaeological investigation there. And that's when it was discovered that Egyptian artifacts indeed were there. But no news from then on. And people talk about that experience, and it's wrapped in myth. Very difficult to understand it unless you're connected with the Hopi Indian tribe.
Isis Temple. They're labeling all the temples in and around the Grand Canyon, which is Arizona, which is Utah. So you have a hijack 101, a recent hijack. And it looks like these temples are covered up, right? They're just covering them up here. They call them mounds here. Oh, the mounds of America. No, those are the pyramids of America. Many of them that are pyramids are called mounds. And they're hijacking it right in front of your face. You know how much land? Over 1 billion acres or millions of acres not even touched. Millions of acres not even touched. They don't even get close to excavating this stuff. They just are too busy constructing.
And other Indian tribes that would tell you otherwise what that canyon really is. And I think that I pretty much discovered just through an intellectual survey of what it might be. And then a little over a year ago, here at the university.
These are temples. This is ancient Egypt.
Arizona Library, I decided to pull out one of the topographical maps of the Grand Canyon to see if the stars of Orion would match up with any of the pinnacles, the highest peaks, the altitude peaks of this topographical map. Sure enough, it didn't take but about 20 minutes to size that star chart, which I created a transparency out of in Photoshop, and I got the alignment. What seems to really fit are the major stars that are not the belt stars that we find in the Giza Plateau with the 3 Great Pyramids. They happen to be the shoulder stars, Betelgeuse and Bellatrix, and then the kneecap stars. I think you would call that the Hunter constellation of Orion. That is Orion, South, and Rigel. And then Mintaka would be one of the stars of the belt system. And those were the major ones. They lined up with Isis Temple. They lined up with Isis Temple is Rigel matches up with Sumner Butte. Bellatrix matches up with Isis Temple. Betelgeuse matches up with Tower of Set. And South line up with O'Neill Butte.
And this is the Colorado they're calling, right? But there is no Colorado, so this is being named. Just like the Mississippi will get that drop. It's being named. And is the Mississippi the real now? All these match up to ancient seas and rivers, even the stars, and they mimicked it on the other side. But they originally were the celestial connection of this particular Egypt or Atlantis. When you get that Atlantis is here, you have Atlanta and the Atlantic Ocean, but you don't connect Atlantis with these stars. Egypt is Atlantis. The first 10 dynastic rulers were coming out of Atlantis. With permissions of the Pharaoh, the Moors and their treaties took your shit with permission of Atlantis. And you've been coming out of bondage of Atlantis here.
Where the natural arch is. And it's quite possible that reorienting this, I might get other matches, but these are the ones that turned out to be the closest. And recently I've been looking at the Pleiades star system. And
oh, look at Atlas, who's the first son of Poseidon and became Atlantis, which is matching up with this Atlantis and the Maya. Let's go.
So that was astounding to me, and it just made sense that all along in my life, I couldn't figure out why a river could have carved angles into the rock formations, which seem to appear to be block formations, that when you look at the Isis temple, for it.
Yeah, we know mountains were trees, and then what happened? They cut the trees and created temples out of these trees. Notice in that whole segment, we didn't see any pyramids related to America that was being called fake, right? So where's the real shit? In front of your eyes.
For instance, it looks like a stepped pyramid, and if one were to restructure it by moving all the dirt that has fallen from the sides, creating the angles in between the right angles, you could probably form these into the four-sided pyramids that we find down in South America, the Mayan pyramids. No river could have formed some of the features that we see at Isis Temple. At Isis Temple, it appears to be a wall in a circular form. A river can't make those sharp bends and then create, perfect 90-degree angles in there, and then form almost like a circular sweep on both sides. So it amazes me that in geology, they don't address these issues.
Cut off mountains, these are trees. But along with these cut off trees, you see the ancient temples of bondage here, Atlantis.
I think that most of the river rocks that would otherwise have sharp edges have been rounded off. We only find them where the river's at, but it doesn't appear that we find them above the surface of the water.
How can this 90-degree angle be created by a meandering river? Right, so that's what they keep saying. Oh, the rivers, the water did this. They have to try to make it millions of years to seem that way. Nah, man. We got the quarrying that's been going on, the quarries and the machinery and the cutting. These are ancient temples. They're mining for gems. Cities of gold.
Once I made the correlation between the star system of Orion to the high altitude peaks of the monuments of the Grand Canyon, in my excitement, I looked for different venues where I could talk to people about this. And we had one convention that reoccurs here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I live in Tucson, about 100 miles away, that I decided to go to because we had some very well-known, world-renowned pyramid scientists, I guess, or enthusiasts.
David Hatcher Childress, known as the real-life Indiana Jones to many of his fans, he has traveled the world several times over seeking adventure and the answers to the mysteries of mankind's past, just investigating these subjects for well over 20 years, getting new data for us. So you made reference to the Phoenix Gazette article. Let's talk about that for a moment. It came out in 1909. What was that?
Mesoamerica or Mesopotamia, when mountains were trees.
David Childress Hatcher would be one of them, and he had just done a show with George Norrie on Coast to Coast, and they were discussing the history of the Grand Canyon, Smithsonian find of the Egyptian artifacts, and they're looking for ancient civilizations. That's what his forte is, and he just went so far as to thinking that it was an underground civilization, when I'm finding that the whole darn thing,
Mesoamerica or Mesopotamia,
is the city, a lost city of some continent that goes unnamed. I sort of had the feeling that perhaps this was the lost continent of Atlantis. So
Atlantis, that train's never laid, the mysterious, majestic city. This is a hijacked city, and you were freed from it.
I ping-ponged that back and forth in my mind and talked to various people about it, and then just decided to leave it alone. There's an ancient history that we just don't know, we're not made privy to. And I wanted to talk with him. And there was a moment where he went on stage with a couple of other people.
Just right quick, this is proof now that pyramids do exist in the southwest United States. they do reside under an ancient seabed, which establishes that they are all coordinated and line up precisely with the major stars and nebulae of the constellation Orion, just like over there, right? Who's mimicking who? The hunter. The same has been established with the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt over here. Now they got it over there. Just like Thoth said, when Atlantis was sinking, he went over there to the land of the hairy barbarians. The difference is that all the stars of nebulae of Orion match with the canyon monuments with clarity. The Grand Canyon, with all of its pristine beauty, is neither naturally formed or organic in nature. Let's go.
To discuss aliens and whether they exist or not. And I know for a fact that humans couldn't have accomplished this feat.
All right, now we're going to aliens, but that's all right, because when they go aliens, they're just talking fallen angels, and they're just talking Thoth. When they say humans can't do this, they're saying Thoth did it. Let's go. Remember Thoth, spell barrier, same thing.
Grand Canyon, it's just epic. It's so vast in there that who would want to spend a lifetime waiting for something to be accomplished or achieved? My best estimation is that the monuments of the Grand Canyon are formed by aliens, humans, or both. I would suspect it would be more of an alien, earthly intervention. And I would think that this coincided with the Egyptian pyramids in some way or form. So we don't have a timeline. I haven't gone that far into the investigation of the timeline, whether it predates the Egyptian pyramids or I wouldn't think that it would be after.
So he's saying it predates everything over there.
And for how long? Would it be 50,000 years, 100? Would it be 500,000 years or 1,000,000 or more? The question is still left up for the geologists.
How long does this old world have over that world?
One day get back to me, but I don't think they will. They just want to stick with their
bullshit,
the knowledge that they feel comfortable with regarding geological formations. But anyway, back to this issue of David Hatcher Childress. I felt that it was necessary to show this information to a little over 1,000 people that were there personally, in person, physically, at this convention, on the overhead screens, and the technicians and the convention operators. They just wouldn't let me do it. So I took a chance and walked up to the stage. It was in the dark because they had the overhead projections of what they were talking about up there. So I didn't feel I was being too intrusive, although it was. And I tried to hand off my computer, my laptop, to David and show him what I had, because that's what they were discussing at the time. And I had the proof right there, and he wouldn't take it. And I felt badly because, to me this was a very important find, and I wanted to share it so that I could get an opinion, because as I always
Mesopotamia or Mesoamerica
work, I try to debunk my own theories. I want to prove that they're either right or wrong. In most cases I want to prove that they're wrong, because most of what I do is highly dangerous. Meaning I'm looking at events that are big and had been dangerous and misleading to the public, and eventually I always find that I'm right, but I don't want to be right. So there I was, being refused. So the following morning, I happened to go into the restaurant there at the hotel where the convention was being held, and there was David, and I figured, okay, well, I have my computer, let's just sit down there and show it to him then. And I explained to him, I sat down with him and showed him what I had, and he looked a little surprised, inquisitive, but he didn't rock back and forth, and there was no jaw dropping, and his eyes didn't look like they were any bigger than they were. When I stumbled onto this, my jaw dropped and my eyes popped open. So I don't know what was going on. Perhaps it put him in fear, These people have to rewrite their books, redo their DVDs. They have to...
They gotta rewrite their books, and that was our issue with Horace Butler. You know, we're not trying to make you rewrite your book, good sir, you know, but you're not gonna call all this stuff over here African, man.
Include this theory because it has not been refuted as, so far, and I haven't heard from him since. And I tried with my good friend Klaus Dona to help me find people, connect me with people so that I can discuss this matter, and that hasn't happened. So very frustrating. I don't know what to do. In this video, I'm putting out the information so
none of his homies will help him drop the truth, man. Drop nation.
That I do get feedback from somebody, and hopefully it's not too critical or cynical. We got to discover whether or not that Grand Canyon is a synthetic product of a human or alien design, an intelligence.
Angel.
It's not coincidental that these features line up, and it's quite possible that the features of the Grand Canyon line up with other star systems too. So hard to deny it.
Tahuti Thoth. Alright, man. So we're going to continue to part 2, but just right quick, man, we'll just, get this for the decimal geographic development in United States and Egypt, Alaveru. Alright, so we touched on this before. Geographic development in United States and Egypt, Blue Group. Let's go. So this is the researchers drop. Let's go. United States and Egypt are over 5,600 miles apart. Okay. Therefore, it would be easy to assume that they have little in common. Egypt is usually regarded as being a land of dry, hot desert. The United States is known for its varied geography and abundant coastline. What many people don't know is that Egypt and the United States share a lot in common when it comes to their geography. The Nile River in Egypt and the Mississippi River. All right. It's not letting me highlight, but you get it. You see it. So the Nile River in Egypt and the Mississippi River in America can be considered twins. The Nile River in Egypt and the Mississippi River in the U.S. can be considered twins. Well, which came first? Which one is the... Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Will the real Nile please stand up? This is the old world, my people. Wakey, wakey, out the illusion. The Nile River in Egypt and the Mississippi River in America, copper color race is found here, can be considered twins. Also, both the United States and Egypt contain a region known as a breadbasket, which is a place that cultivates enough food to provide to other areas in the country. It's a breadbasket. People migrated towards these specific regions of Egypt and the United States because they had a plethora of agricultural, job, and living opportunities. Because this is Egypt. These geographic features have helped to shape and develop the early civilizations in both countries. Egypt, one of the world's greatest and oldest civilization, would not have thrived if it had not been for the Nile. Herodotus, the Greek historian, described the ancient Egypt as a gift of the Nile. Ancient Egyptian civilization emerged over 5,000 years ago, so they say. And the resource that helped to structure Egypt through this time was the Nile River. The Nile River had a strong influence on ancient Egypt's agriculture, geography, and religion. Farmers took advantage of the fertile soil around the Nile and in the Nile Delta to grow crops such as wheat and flax. As the farmers began to produce more food, more people migrated to Egypt and settled in the Nile Valley. And you got the upper and lower Egypt. We're going to get into Truth Unveiled, dropping that. So it says, if you were to compare the geography of Egypt to that of the U.S., America, then the sister river of the Nile would be the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River has been a vital factor in the physical and economic growth of the United States. You just don't hear about it. You don't hear about your Nile. You don't hear about your Mississippi. and is arguably the most important river in America. The first people to live among the banks in the Delta region of Mississippi were Native Americans. Copper-colored race is found here. These American tribes formed